హలో హలో ఓకేనా
అవునా? Madam, good morning, madam.
Good morning.
So we'll start at 11:30, madam.
It's okay. It's okay.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Good morning, Dhananjay Ravan.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, good morning, sir. Srinivasulu garu.
Good morning, Dhananjay. Good morning.
Madam, good morning. Welcome. Welcome to Andhra Pradesh, India, madam.
Yeah, thank you.
Sir, we will start at 11:30, sir. Registrar garu.
Okay, Andy. Okay. I think Madam is also ready, na?
Madam is
also-
on the. Yeah.
Okay, I think we can start exactly by 11:30. It's already 11:30.
35, okay?
Okay, okay. Yes.
Okay, sir, we will start.
Yes, okay. Dhananjay, please.
Okay. Welcome to Dr. YSR Horticultural University, Venkatramanagudam, West Godavari District, Andhra Pradesh, for the Global Connect series, 10th Global Connect series, in collaboration with the Research National Institute of Post-Harvest Management, Sri Lanka. The topic is contribution of sustainable post-harvest management practices to reduce losses in food crops, special reference to fruits and vegetables. This is the topic. And welcome to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. T. Janakiram sir. This program is a brainchild, and we have successfully completed our 9th Global Connect series. This is a 10th Global Connect series. And welcome to Dr. Neelanti Vijayavardhane, today's guest speaker, Principal Research Scientist, Head of the Department, Research National Institute of Post-Harvest Management, Jayanti Mawata, Anuradhapura, Sri Lanka. And all university officers, Director of Research, Dr. Naram Naidu Garu, Dean of Horticulture, Dr. Padmavatam Garu, Dean of PG Studies, Dr. Surikumar Garu, Dean of Student Affairs, Dr. Salome Sunatha Garu, Director of Extension, Dr. Karunasri Garu, and Controller of Exams, Dr. Venkataswamy Garu, Registrar, Dr. B. Srinivasulu Garu, Estate Officer, Engineer Mallikarjun Rao Garu, Controller Shashikala Madam Garu, all Zonal Heads, all Associate Deans, all Heads of the Departments of Research Stations and KVKs, and all Principals of Polytechnic Colleges, and all the Heads of the Departments, teachers, scientists, students. Welcome you all for this 10th Global Connect series. Especially, Madam, welcome guest speaker, Dr. Neelanti Vijayavardhane Madam. And before going to topic, today our rapporteurs, Dr. Jevana Lakshmi, Assistant Professor, College of Horticulture, Viyaragudam, Dr. Y. Lakshmi Prasanna, Assistant Professor, College of Horticulture, Venkatramanagudam. These two people will act as rapporteurs. And before going to the topic, and just a brief biodata of our guest speaker. And you all know that in post-harvest management, 30% almost losses are there in fruits and vegetables. And by 2050, the population will increase 9 billion population in the world, and we have to increase the food production by 70%. So this is the topic. And Madam, almost Dr. Neelanti Vijayavardhane almost worked 20 years experience in the field of post-harvest management, in food post-harvest management. And Madam studied BSc Agriculture Sciences, Department of Horticulture, 1998, and in MSc and specialization in floriculture and landscape architecture, 2002, from the Postgraduate Institute of Agriculture, Peradeniya, Sri Lanka, and MPhil Food Science and Technology in 2015, and PhD in Horticulture, Post-Harvest Technology in 2008, from the Department of Post-Harvest Technology, Dr. Y.S. Parmar University, for Horticulture and Forestry, Solan, India. And Madam has contributed worked 20 years in post-harvest management, and almost our publications, 17 publications published in international peer-reviewed journals, and 34 publications in local peer-reviewed journals and symposia proceedings, and 17 abstracts, mostly concentrated in the post-harvest management of fruits and vegetables. And Madam, now she is working as a principal research scientist in this post-harvest technology institute. And Madam conducted so many research projects, handled so much many projects that Integrated Resource Management Program, Central Environment Authority, Sri Lanka. As agronomist also, Satamaga Participatory Development Forum. And Madam, to her credit, she received many scholarships in PhD, CARP, Overseas Training Program, and she awarded many awards also. In 2014, Sri Lanka Presidential Award for the invention, development of lipid-based edible coating, wax for fresh fruits. And in 2014, awarded a merit certificate at third YSF Symposium held on 7th February 2014 at the Hector Kobba Kodava Agrarian Research and Training Institute, Colombo, Sri Lanka. And 2013, she was awarded National Research Council Merit Award for Scientific Publications and 2013, and Journal of Food Science and Technology, Mysore. And 2009, judged as the best presenter in the session on the post-harvest technology and process engineering in the 21st Annual Congress 2009, the Postgraduate Institute, Paradigna University, Sri Lanka. And Madam has research grants also, so many grants and patents also at her credit. Many patents are also there. To read, it takes a lot of time. And Madam is a professional membership in many. She is also acting as a consultant and a chairman for the Environment Committee, Sri Lanka Association for the Advancement of Science, Sri Lanka, and president section of the Agriculture and Forestry. And Madam also acting as a member in various committees of Sri Lanka, and member of the cabinet appointed technical evaluation committee for the construction of cold storage units under Ministry of Rural Economic Affairs, Sri Lanka, and a life member of SLAAS from 2005, a member of National Science Foundation, Sri Lanka, member of the Alumni Association, and steering committee, member of YSF. In so many in committees, Madam is also acting as a member appointed by the government of Sri Lanka, and she is well versed with the post-harvest management, especially in fruits and vegetables. And welcome, Madam. Welcome to Dr. YSR Horticulture University in Global Connect series. And welcome, Madam. And now you are invited and to speak on the topic.
Okay, thank you very much for your introduction about me, and also thank you very much for you by inviting me to as a guest speaker for your university. And this is my privilege to talk with you because my neighboring country here, actually I'm going to talk to some aspects of post-harvest. Especially I'm going to share with our experience with you as a neighboring country. I think it's very, very good chance for us to share the information. Then okay, then I'm going to start the today talk.
Thank you, Madam. Welcome, welcome.
I think all you can see my screen.
Yes, yes, Madam, visible.
Okay, okay, thank you. As you said, my topic is contribution of sustainable post-harvest management practices to reduce losses in food crops. Here I am going to talk special reference to fruits and vegetables. Okay, then before starting the facts related to post-harvest, I'm giving some attention about the global scenario of the situation. The global food production has reached a recorded high in recent years. However, 1/3 of all food produced for human consumption is lost or wasted. That is equivalent to 1.3 billion tons per year. The post-harvest food losses is a leading cause of food insecurity for millions of families across the world. That is actually, there is a problem for us, not like our country, like developing countries. This all over the world, the problem is somewhat critical nowadays. Then, but we have a target to achieve zero hunger by 2030 for me and you all. That will require that no more food is lost or wasted. Actually, our aim should be the available food we have to be utilized without any waste. That should be. Then there are some definitions we need to pay our attention when talking about the post-harvest losses. Here, I'm taking some facts like food losses and waste. When we define it as decrease at all stages of the food chain from harvest to consumption, that is mess or food that was originally intended for human consumption. Actually, here we can consider the food chain, food supply chain that starting from the farmer, it's coming, its end to the consumer. That up to now, that up to that level, we can consider there are so many losses. We are talking about that there are many post-harvest losses can be happen through the supply chain of, especially I'm talking fruit and vegetable. Then when we talk about that, in fruit and vegetable supply chain, there may be huge losses we can see. When separating that food losses and waste into food losses, that when we taken it as a separate one, the food losses refers to a decrease all stages of the food chain prior to the consumer level in mass of food that was originally intended for human consumption. Here it is very clear that the losses we are consider up to the consumer level, but not after that. The post-harvest losses, many times we are calculating from that farm level to consumer level in our supply chain. But that another definition is somewhat critical. We have to pay our attention more on it, but that's having very low attention. I think in my case also, in your case also, that may be food waste. That is very critical thing. That is refers to food appropriate for human consumption being discarded or left to spoil at consumer level. Because we pay much attention to protect our fruit and vegetable supply chain from the farmer to consumer level. As a government or as organizations, we are trying to introduce some technologies, given some projects or something to improve quality of fruits and vegetable and reduce losses and increase the keeping quality. But we are not paying our attention as household level, but there are much losses can be identified in our country that is more critical, that now we are paying more attention about that, about the food waste in restaurant, in household level. At that place, there are so many examples we can see about the losses at the consumer level. And therefore, we should pay our attention about the food post-harvest losses or food losses and other things with the waste component, because waste are the critical thing we have to be considered. Then to prevent post-harvest losses, what we can do, that we can increase the availability of food worldwide without requiring additional resources or placing additional burden to the environment. Actually, the thing related that is we have to pay our attention to use proper utilization of available food rather than increasing the productivity. The increase in productivity also very important. Before increasing with the increasing of the productivity, we have to pay our attention to protect our existing food, the available food, and utilize it in proper way. Food losses can be happen at every stages of the supply chain and value chains. The commodity becomes damaged, sometimes spoiled, or sometimes that lost while harvesting, handling, processing, storing, and transportation at every stages. These losses are most significant in developing countries. Therefore, we are talking about that the post-harvest losses at those countries it is 30 to 40%, but some exceptions can be there. But the general figure is the 30 to 40% of post-harvest losses we can identify. Then this is about the supply chain of fruits and vegetables. We know the components like the inputs like fruit and vegetables is coming to production, then procurement and storage, then primary processing activities like we can do something like packhouse operations and proper primary temporary storage like this. Then after that, it's going to secondary processing if need, but that is not in the supply chain. That is something related to value chain. Then after that, finally the retailing and wholesaling and retailing will be happen. A food supply chain that is contain all those activities that help to ensure the delivery of finished product to consumer from the primary producer, that means the farmer. Such activities, those can include storage, transport, distribution, processing, wholesale, retail, and finally the consumption. Then when we're talking about the value chain, that is somewhat different, because as example, I'm taking some oranges, that orange fruit. We can have it as a fresh orange. If not, we can have it as any other type of product. There's a different chances for us to having that orange. We can pluck it from the tree and just we can eat. That is the one way of having those oranges. If not, we can pluck it from the tree, then we can subject it to different primary processing activities, cleaning, grading, sorting, then after that packing, those type of things can be applied. Then finally, the oranges coming to us is rather good when we compare to the eating fruit by plucking from the tree, because at that time we are not going to select, not going to grade, not going to give any packaging treatment or something, but giving those type of primary processing treatment, we can keep our product for more time rather than the other level. But rather than that, we can consider something about that value addition. Value addition is one other way we can use the fruit for more longer time when compared to the fruits we have subjected to primary processing. Because by processing, applying the processing technologies, we can produce cordial, RTS, or any other beverages or any other minimally processed product or something we can produce from those. Here I am getting oranges as example. Then by converting the oranges into different product, we can keep it for a long time. Sometimes it's more than 1-2 years. Actually, that is the objective of post-harvest management. We have, by that way, we can utilize those commodities for a long time, because the perishables we know after 2-3 days after harvesting that can be wasted. Because of that, those type of applications, it is very need to enhance the shelf life and proper utilization of our crop. Then we have paid our attention on value chain and the supply chain. Then here I'm showing you there is one set of banana. Then this is the second set of banana. If I ask you one question, which set of banana do you like to buy? Definitely, I know your answer. Your answer may be the first set will be your preference. There's no any doubt, because the second set we can see there are so many brochures. The color changes I observed. Then the color is not good, like bright color is the first set, and second set that is not good color. The consumer apple is only go to the first one, but our post-harvest target is the harvest the product at optimum maturity, then maintain the product internal and external quality by packing, storage, and distribution. That in that cases we can maintain the quality of the produce, because the product is always alive during this process. Therefore, we have to pay our attention. Then deliver the fruit to consumers at the time to fulfill the requirement is our duty as a post-harvest technologies. Also, when we are giving our technology to a community, that is very essential to having the good product, good commodity to the consumer by applying those technologies. The rest of the part I will discuss about that, how we can achieve such type of situation by applying technology, the post-harvest technology. Then when we are talking about the principles of post-harvest management of fruits and vegetables, actually to achieve that type of good quality produce, we have to be adhere to some principles. One is the product quality maintenance. That is very important to reduce losses, then generate product added value, then finally generate market opportunities. Actually, by doing all of the things, the final target is the generation of the market opportunities. Then here also I am showing the two set of mango that like banana. That here also the product quality at harvesting and the product quality deterioration due to improper handling after several days. That also because of less concern, sometime that may be because of the internal quality characteristics of the fruit, but we can manipulate those things by applying different technologies to achieve our target, to get good fruit to consumer. Actually, that is our target. Then what type of why this type of things can be happen. When here I'm going to compare the perishables versus durables. When considering about the durables, the perishables with the durables more subjected to deterioration after harvest. But in grains, shelf life is very lengthy. It is more than 1 year sometimes. In fruit and vegetable, relatively large in size, therefore the physiological activities are increasing. The metabolic due to high rate of metabolic activities losses, internal quality deterioration can be happen very quickly. Then that is soft texture, the damage can be happen very easily. The higher water content, it is about 70 to 90% of water, but when comparing to grains, it is about 10 to 40. Then because of that, many chance to deterioration because of higher respiration and heat production. Because of those factors, the fruit and vegetables, those are very that can subject to different types of damages that may be affect for the environmental factors, then personal factors, or internal quality characteristics. Those things can be happen for those deteriorations. Then we have to think something about that. Now it is waste. How many opportunities we have been lost? Then we have to think about that. How many opportunities we have lost and how we can achieve those challenges, how we can face those challenges, which measures we can take to avoid this loss. Inappropriate post-harvest handling, the theme, product losses, that quality decay, physical losses, then high cost and low profit because of that, then loss of market opportunities, then because of low competitiveness. Actually, the product is not in good quality. There is no competitiveness with that product that will affect for the profit of the farmers as well as that is not good for the consumer because they are not achieving good product for their consumption. Then I will talk something about my country situation. Actually, I think India also, because I also there for more than 3 years in Himachal Pradesh for my PhD time. Then I know about that you also very rich in fruit production in your country. In my country also, there are many vegetables and fruits we have a chance to get more type of fruits and vegetables. The vegetables we are categorizing like up country vegetables and low country vegetables, because the up country vegetables, it is having some temperate characteristics, like low country vegetables, it's having the lower tropical characteristics. Then there are so many vegetables we can grow, like you. Then some tuber crops also we are utilizing. There's a trend to use this type of tuber crops for making some value-added product also nowadays. Then fruits, different type of fruits also we can get, like not like you, the apple, pear, and tropical the temperate type fruits. Those not are growing well in our country, but are the most of the tropical fruits in tropical origin we can cultivate, and it's getting good yield. Then when talking about the post-harvest operations, it is the general thing. When we harvest the product, it is reception to pack houses somewhere, collecting centers. Then if we are continuing cold chain, we have to do some aspect related to pre-cooling. Then selection, cleaning, disinfection. Then if we use water for cleaning, we have to remove the surface moisture. Then grading. Then we can subject it to other treatment if needed. Sometimes vaccine treatment or some other disinfectant treatment may be applied. Packing, storage, and transport. That is not a new thing. That is the typical post-harvest operations. Then when talking about the supply chain, the market chain, that is, I think it's in your case also that may be the same. It's starting from the grower, collector, wholesaler, retailer, and consumer. Actually, that is the typical supply chain, but actually the happening thing is not like that. That is the typical one. When we are talking about the present situation, it is like that. There are so many chains we can identify. Some chains are very short, some chains are very long. When the chains are very long, what happens? The losses can be increased because it is more handling. It is taking more time to reach it to the consumer level. Then if the chain is lengthy, the losses can be more. If the chain is short, the losses can be reduced. But if we are practicing proper management practices during the long chains also, we can protect our product, because sometimes because of the requirement, we have to send our product to some far places. Then at that time, the chain will be more lengthy. In not like our country, I think in India, it is a big country when compared to my country. That may be, the chains may be somewhat very lengthy one. And the different types of modes can be used for transportation. Then the thing may be critical. But in my country, that is not much problematic. The lengthy chains also operating during 1 day or 1.5 day. It is not taking much time because it is very small country. And therefore, that type of things also affect for the post-harvest losses during handling it through the supply chains. Then what are the most considerable factors that affect post-harvest quality of perishables? Here we will see what are the most critical points we have to be addressed. When talking about the product quality management, the two things we have to consider: one is the pre-harvest factors, the other one is the post-harvest handling, like harvesting, grading, sorting, packing, transportation, and storage, etc. Then the pre-harvest factors, actually, as a post-harvest technologies, normally we are not much considering about the pre-harvest factors, because we think there are some different groups for that thing. There are different people who are available. Sometimes it may be the departments and ministries, or sometimes there may be research stations. They are considering about the cultivation and the agronomic practices. And there are two demarcations about the people who are growing and the people who are working with the post-harvest aspect. But that is not a thing. Actually, pre-harvest factors are very much, there are a big relationship with the pre-harvest and the post-harvest to get good product to the consumer. What are the pre-harvest factors can be affect for the product quality? One is the climatic condition. Sometimes it is very difficult to control by ourselves, but we can do it by using environmental manipulation technologies, using greenhouses, polyhouses, or something. We can manipulate the thing. The temperature and light intensity can be influenced the content of different, like ascorbic acid, carotene, like internal things too, because of that the nutrients that we affect for that thing. The climatic condition. The rainfall affects the water supply and the susceptibility to plant organ to mechanical damages and decay. Because of some stress condition, those disease and pest and disease conditions can be accelerated. And the cultural practices like for nutritional conditions, because the fertilizer application is very important thing. Because of the fertilizer application, we can improve the crop vigor. That crop vigor is very important to keep it for a long time. Then several physiological disorders also associated with some nutrition deficiencies, and sometimes that physiological disorders may be affect the product quality. Water stresses that may be physical and physical changes may be most of the time physical changes is the prominent, and some internal quality deterioration also identified. Then water excess, that is increase the susceptibility to physical damage in some products because of the succulency. Sometimes because of water excess, there may be some rots can be accelerated. Those type of environmental factors can be affect for the product quality. Then what are the hazards associated with produce quality? The hazards we can categorize into different categories, like biological things like pest and diseases, then chemical things like visible external contaminants with pesticide and chemical products like toxicant, then its effect for the flavors, and then produce some that may be produced by some pathogens. That mechanical damages like injuries, cartridges, those type of things can be happen. Then physical things like heat increase in water losses can be. Then like physiological, in case of onion, potato like this, sprouting. Then in carrot like crops, that rots can be identified. Senescence may be in leafy vegetables, and changes caused by transpiration and respiration. The primary damage are results of inappropriate technologies and handling during the post-harvest chain, like inappropriate infrastructure for produce packaging and storage may be the reason. Then improper transportation condition, lack of planning, because that harvesting, there should be always we are suggesting the proper crop plan because after harvesting it is very difficult to control the gluts. Then it is very much need to control the crop plan, because controlled crop plan is very important, because at that time we can plan how much we require, and according to that we can produce. Then there is no any burden to protect it by giving some storage conditions or like that. But that is not, we can't practice it for all crops, all fruit and vegetables, because there are some situations we have a seasonal crops. That time we can't manipulate the crop production. At that time we have to get some measures to keep our products for a long time because of the seasonality. But another vegetables or something, we can manipulate the crop production process, then the losses can be reduced up to some extent. The delay of improper conditions during distribution and marketing also created some problems. Then poor and improper harvesting techniques, poor, because I am reading those things here, I am going to explain those in one by one later. The poor produce handling, damage originated during handling and transport, delays during distribution process, and loss of weight and water. Then we will see in each and every stage what things can be happen. The harvesting is the first stage when we are talking about the post-harvest operation. Then inappropriate maturity at harvest will be affected because the over-ripening that increase the sensitivity to quality decay. Immature fruits, the market rejection. Rather than the rejection from the market, there may be so many losses can be happen due to immature fruit harvesting, because that the tissues are not grown well, therefore the wilting and swelling is accelerating. It is not giving good taste because internal constituents are not developed properly. Therefore, harvesting stage is very important. We have to select proper stage for harvesting. That means we have some idea about the good maturity status of these fruits and vegetables. Then, if we select a crop in good maturity and proper maturity level, what we have to do then? We have to harvest it. That harvesting can be mechanical or manual. When we are doing it mechanical way, there may be some damages, and even in manual harvesting also, there may be some damages can be happen, because when we are pulling it by fruit, when we are harvesting it, what happened as a first picture in tomato, that he is pulling that fruit from the tree. What happened that because of high pressure on the fruit, there may be damages at the level of harvest. Then we have to, the correct way is we have to put one finger near to the stove, then that will reduce the pressure on fruit. That type of simple things we have to be considered during harvesting. But if we are doing mechanical harvesting, we can manage it rather than happening some mechanical injuries, but we can control up to some extent by giving proper concern during harvesting. Actually, most of the time we are doing manual harvesting rather than the mechanical in my country. In case of fruits and vegetables, some cases only we are using some instruments to pluck fruits like papaya or some other crops. Then climatic condition at harvesting also a very big issue. That free water, exposure of the product to direct sun, those things are critical factor during harvesting. Therefore, we are managing also that harvesting wet product, that is increase the sensitivity to quality decay, that is not a doubt. Then inappropriate harvesting containers also leads to physical injuries. Here, I'm showing that one picture. The person who is harvesting cabbage, he is loading it into polysac, but that is not good way. Sometimes this may be the sunny time. When it is, if it is sunny time, what happen? The direct sun exposure can be happen. He is loading more on polysac. Because of that, there are less of ventilation. Because of that, the crops can be deteriorate very easily. What are the recommendations? We have to train the personnel on optimum maturity indexes. Then harvesting times we have to manipulate, because the early morning or late afternoon we have to be avoided, because at that time we can reduce the early morning, and early morning some damages can be happen due to dew and other things that if after 10 normally we are recommended before 10 and after 3, that is suitable for after 3 p.m. that is suitable for crop harvesting, because at that time we can reduce the effect of the sun rays. Then that is the most suitable time to protect our product from sun. Then optimum harvesting container, then size, material, height, the number of produced layers, and the conditions. Those are the very much considerable thing when we are taking something in at the farm level. Then protection of the product from direct sun inset also very important. Then the second step is produce reception associated hazard. Because after harvesting, we have to send it to some places that may be a pack house, that may be a collecting center. And sometimes the places are uncovered areas, that is directly exposure of the product to sun and adverse climatic condition. At that cases, especially that may be some large collecting centers. In our cases, that is, we call that dedicated economic centers. Those are the places, the people who are collecting their produce and send it to the wholesalers. Then inappropriate handling of the product during loading and unloading. Maybe I will show you some examples later. Inappropriate product heaping or stacking, that may be some mechanical damages can be happen. Delay in the operations, like if conditions are inappropriate, they can generate increase in product temperature, and that relates to quality decay. The lack of planning during harvesting, sometime increase delay in the operation, that will affect the product quality. No method applied to remove field heat or use of inappropriate one, because if we are continuing cold chain, we have to pay our attention on removal of field heat. What is field heat? Field heat means the crops gets taken some amount of heat at the field because of the environment effect that may be near to environment temperature that is different from 2-3 degrees centigrade from that. Then if we store or handle it in cold chain, what happens? The product will deteriorate rather than the normal way. Therefore, when we are going to put it in cold trucks, freezer, like low temperature trucks or a cold room, we have to reduce the temperature up to some extent. It should need near to the storage temperature. Sometimes we have to reduce it up to it is less than 18 degrees centigrade from the field heat. Here I'm showing some examples of my country. That is, I call that collecting centers. We call dedicated economic centers. The people, they are collecting those things to their places. The wholesalers are coming to buy it. There is no shelters. There's no any proper way to stacking those things. Keeping those are spreading on floor. What happened? The things like that. Then how we can control the things that we have to get so much measures to overcome those threats. That means we have to avoid those type of conditions if we need to keep our products for a long time. Here also I'm showing some photographs that people who what's the behavior of them. Then when they are loading those things, they are standing on it, and but the second picture, the vehicle is covered, because we are advised them to cover the vehicle with some cover after loading it. But our advice is not like that. Here the cover is okay, but the product loading, the packing and the way of stacking are not good. But the third one, they are individually packed. They are foods. Here it is papaya. The individually packed, but the loading way of loading is not good. Another example is cabbage. I have explained that. Tomato normally in my country we are using wooden boxes for that thing. Actually, wooden boxes we can use for that purpose, but there are some deficiencies like the internal smoothness. Then sometimes the nails and other things inside that may be damaged to the produce. That type of things can be happen. Sometimes the weight of the container also problem for the transportation. That type of things can be happen. Then next level, that cleaning and disinfection, that is very important primary processing activity. We can do it in our pack house. that here the main objective is to remove impurities from the product. That washing we can follow. Different methods for washing, we can follow the wet methods by immersing or spraying water. Then dry methods like dry brushing or aspiration, blowing wind, we can use to remove surface dirt material. Here it is showing that how the washing, mechanical washing can be done. Then what are the possible hazards associated with cleaning and disinfection? The product water sensitivity, that may be sometimes the products are not sensitive, that is low sensitivity. That sensitivity is not positively affected for the crop quality. Then poor water quality may be. Also, sometimes the water is not in good condition. That at that time we can have some treatment like chlorine treatment or some other treatment to keep our water we are using for washing is in good quality. That mechanical damages can be happen that because of inappropriate condition or brushes when we are doing it by brushes, or sometimes in personal factors also can be happen. Then water accumulation in the product, that also can be leads to some quality deterioration. That's why when I'm explaining the process of post-harvest system, I told you that removal of surface moisture is very important after washing it with water, because accumulation of water that will leads to microbial rots like things. In the grading is the another important aspect we have to consider. Why we are doing grading? We are doing grading to get uniform product. To get uniform product is very important to get to achieve good market opportunities, because the products are not in even quality, that will give less value at the market. Therefore, the people, they are doing those things at the pack houses. Proper grading machineries can be used, so manual grading can be done. Because of that, the producers can earn more money, and the consumer attraction also can be increased. What are the associated related with grading methods? We can grade it by size, weight, and color. Those are the general things. The mechanical damages can be happen when we are using machineries for grading. The vibration damages can be happen. The impact and compression damages like thing, then causes either by poor handling or inappropriate equipment maintenance and design also can be happen for some hazards during grading and sorting. Because of not conducting sorting and grading in proper way, the post-harvest diseases can be accelerated. There are some other critical things in my country, like in case of papaya, mango, banana, those type of incidents always we are facing those. Because of that, the crop waste can be happen. Then by grading and sorting applications also, we can, by using those things, we can minimize those type of things, because at the beginning we can remove the pest disease infected one. Then we can protect our product further by removing those things at the initial part. In the packing is the another aspects we have to consider. That here I am showing the two sets of packages. One is consumer package, the second one is the bulk package. Actually, when we are using package, that is the general thing. I will simply explain that what is the requirement of package. Actually, the package should be contain the product, that is protect the product. Then there should be proper ventilation. There should not release any toxic compound. That may be convenience for handling. Those type of things should be achieved by using the package. That consumer packaging also in my country also now it is very popular, because according to the economy and the crisis of the countries, that the consumer packaging is very important solution. Because if it is not in like that, the people, when we are if we can sort it and grade it and properly pack as a consumer pack and keep it shelves, then person who need it, they can buy it directly. If not, they are selecting those things by pressing it and by turning here and there, that what is the quality of that, then that also affect to quality deterioration of product. Then consumer, they are going to check its characteristics. But if we can doing it and send the proper produce to the market, that type of things can be avoided. Then what are the associated hazards with packaging? Poor packaging designs that helps to reduce efficiency and increase the risk of mechanical and biological hazards. Improper packaging, lack of ventilation, low material resistance, sharp and wrinkled surfaces also can be the damaging packed product. Overpacking also, it's very much critical thing, because the people, they are in my country, they are using polysacks for vegetable packaging rather than using safe packages. Then that is leads to very much of post-harvest losses during transportation. Right. Then packing product with different degree of maturity also affect, because that we know that if we pack a matured one with the matured one, the matured one will ripe very soon. Then that the compounds releasing during the maturity will affect to ripen other product. Therefore, it's very important to separate those things when we are packing the things. Then mechanical damages caused by personal or improper design of mechanical grading machine. Those things I have explained earlier. Those also happening during the packaging operation. The problem regarding overhandling of product and inappropriate process flow during post-harvest handling, also the severe damage. Because actually, when as a post-harvest technologist, we should advise the people to reduce the handling operation, that overhandling, that is serious cause for post-harvest losses. Sometimes unnecessary handling also happening during the supply chains. Then the transport is very much critical in our case. I don't know about you, that I think that also may be the very critical situation in our country also. The 75% of total losses can be happen during handling and transportation in my country. The reason is, some examples I have shown you, and I will show you some others later. The bad condition of the vehicles, and sometimes it's not covered. Poor cushioning systems of the vehicle, inappropriate system of loading and unloading, uncovered vehicle that is exposed the product to the adverse environmental conditions, poor control of temperature and relative humidity. That actually in my country, that refrigerated transport is very less. Only some companies who are doing that supermarket chain, they are functioning supermarket chains, they are using such type of things. But if not, they are using normal lorries and trucks for transportation of perishables in normal environmental condition. Inappropriate systems for packing, those type of things affect to high losses in transportation when considering the fruits and vegetables. Here it is one example. I told you that loading and unloading, these things can be happen. Here you can see how it's packed. The packing is not in good way. They are throwing it down without any concern about this is very subject to mechanical damage. They are not thinking about that. They are handling like that standing on it, like experience we have it. Here earlier also I have shown you the thing. Then how they are transporting those things, unnecessary behavior of them that will affect for the lot of damages. That here also, that how it's packed and how it's protect from falling down, that with ropes there are tied that it's tightened well, then that is not good for perishables, because that way of packing also, we advise them to pack it in safe containers, not in the polysac like that. That will affect to deterioration during transportation. That are the so many critical cases in my country. Then storage is another thing. Actually, when we are handling fruits and vegetables, that is very necessary to use some low temperature storage conditions. But in my country, it is not freely available. Some companies, that some, especially the supermarket chains, they are affordable to use such type of technologies they are using. But normal farmers, general farmers, it is very difficult to use this type of things because of the cost of electricity, and sometimes that is the system is not facilitating them. The policy reasons also affect for that, because they are not getting good prices for their products if they protect, if they use such type of technologies to keep their products for a long time. The lack of infrastructure facilities is a big problem. Then insufficient power sources because of electricity also sometimes can be limited. Past time in my country there may be power cuts because of that. Those type of technologies are very limited. The lack of knowledge of handling of produce at storage. Sometimes the people, they don't know about the conditions but we have to maintain at the low temperature storage, that because that may be different from the country to country, also crop to crop. The lack of insufficient technical skills or locally not available. Sometimes cost of application also not, it is very difficult to bear by the people who are producing those things. Then here it is, if we are producing, if we are following the cold chain only, we have to bother about the low temperature storage like pre-cooling, like things that harvest, that this thing when we are harvesting to protect the product from direct sun and quick transport to the packing. Then pre-cooling we have to practice when we are practicing the cold chain to minimize delays before pre-cooling. Uniform product cooling should be done. Then we have to keep it some time in temporary storage. Then after that can subject to transportation. That transportation should be done in refrigerated condition. The loading area also should be low temperature maintained area. That type of things we have to consider when we are following the cold chain. If we are following the cold chain facility only, we have to maintain the conditions like pre-cooling. The pre-cooling proper method should be applied, and that should be affordable. That should not be harm to the produce we are using. Those things we have to be careful about. Those things we have to be careful when we are subjecting to pre-cooling and applying it to cold chain. Then here up to now, I have talked about the actually what are the technological aspects we have to consider during managing our perishables during supply and value chain. Then we will see something about, actually here I'm going to talk about the situation in my country, what type of things happening as a challenges in post-harvest management of fruits and vegetables in Sri Lanka. Then one is the pre-harvest application of pesticide. The application of unregistered and non-recommended pesticide is the problem. Spraying pesticide just before the harvesting also can be happen in some cases. Within the pre-harvest, our recommendation is 14 days before harvesting, but because of some situation, the people, they are trained to apply those pesticide just before the transport as well as. Then safety issues like pesticide residues in fruits and vegetables is the problem there. Then another aspects we have to consider, cleaning and washing of vegetables using polluted water. That also a very much critical thing in upcountry area. I told you at the beginning, we having two types of vegetables. One is coming from upcountry and the second one is coming from low country area. The upcountry vegetables, most of the things, the water streams are coming down. Then because of that, people, they are used to wash their vegetables with using that water streams. Those are coming from toilets, near to toilets and other things. That coliform contaminations and other bad, that is not good for the produce. That can be happen during that. That use of contaminated and polluted water for cleaning of vegetables is a big problem for us, because actually, if we educated the people to use the washing tanks or washing equipment to wash it, because of practical reasons, they are trained to this type of application. That is not good for consumer. Another thing is use of inappropriate method for ripening of fruit. I think in India also that may be a problem. Use of excess quantities of some chemicals we are going to use for ripening of fruits, then adoption of improper methods, another thing. I don't know about that in India, what is the situation. In our country, we are not, it is banned using calcium carbide for fruit ripening. We are recommended only the ethylene releasing compound, something like that is not as a spraying method, that is as a gaseous form only. We have recommended in my country in our Food Act. But the people, what they are doing, that they are doing ripening, not ripening, they are doing that degreening. because they are spraying those available chemicals that use for triphonin. They are spraying it on fruit, the green one, within 4-5 hours it becomes yellow. But what happened, the internal quality, it is not good because the ripening is a big process. There are so many internal changes should be happen. The acid should be converted into sugar. The starch should be converted into sugar. The peel color develops some colorings like anthocyanin, carotenoids. Those things are developed during the ripening process. Some esters can be developed. That is the identical that is giving good for us, that different like fragrance like things like because of esters or something that is identical for the fruits, different fruits. But that is the big problem in my country also. But even but we are not using calcium carbide. The people, they are using something like ethylene removing substances that they mix with water and spraying on it. During that time also they are not following the recommended dosage for spraying those chemicals. Spraying also not good, but that also following. Another bad thing is they are using inappropriate concentrations. The high concentrations they are applying for ripening. Because of that, the losses is increasing, because if they are not applying proper way to ripen their product, it is very difficult to keep it for a long time, because the diseases can be accelerated. It's ripening and deterioration can be happen very fast. Those type of experience we have it. Then here you can see some photographs how they are packing the fruits and what happened at the ultimate level, that retail level. What is the situation of our fruit? That is very bad condition because of adhering inappropriate technologies for packing, sorting and grading, ripening and those things. Then another thing is the market, the selling the things like wholesale and retail market, that is inadequate infrastructure facilities is a problem, one of the problem. Because I told you, because of without shelters, they are keeping their product under sun, that will affect to increase the deterioration of the perishables. Then also sometimes this type of roadside vendors, we can see that roadside vending is not good, that market having very low quality produce. Also the place is not good to keep those things. That is all the things we can say that is not in good manner. Therefore we should have to pay our attention to that thing also. Then we will see what type of technologically adoptions we need to get good product for us. One is the introduction of safe packages to collectors and traders. That here I am mentioning the subsidized rate. Actually, in my country, most of the farmers, they are not rich people, because the things when they are getting something for packaging, the packages, they have to bear more cost. That is not affordable for most farmers. Therefore, we have as an institute also, government institute, we also giving some priorities for that thing. What is the approach? Collective participation, training, provision of subsidies to acquire plastic waste. Actually, if we provide plastic waste without giving any training, that also not good, because the people, they don't know about how to use it and how to handle it and what are the benefits of it. If not, they are not trained to use this type of packages. Therefore, the training component also very important to aware the people about the usefulness of the technology. Then here I'm showing, then when we are packing those, according to our research experience, these actual photographs I have taken during my research. Then here, what happened, we can see the first and second photographs after transporting those things with two mode of packaging. What happened, that by showing those type of examples, we are going to convince the farmers what is the importance of using, how it will be affect for your product quality at the end. That those type of things we are doing to educate the farmers. Actually, that another things related to that, in my country also we have facing that thing because of the policy factors, because the price. Actually, the farmer who's going to transport the product with using those type of plastic containers, and the people who are going to pack it and taking it to the market with polysaccharides. So both groups having same price at the market. Because of that, people, they are reluctant to use that type of safe packages. Why they are thinking about that? Why they are bothered about wasting much money for packing these things? Because that is their duty is packing it and send it to somewhere else. Then people, they are going to buy it. But ultimate thing should be the different. But the people who are transporting it, they are not understanding the things. Understanding the things related to that. Therefore, those policy level decisions also very important when we are introducing such technology to community. Then the outcome by introducing those things, the reduction of losses, we could able to reduce the losses 20 to 5%. That is actually this practice in some specific chains only, not in general chains. The increase in farmer income, better income for collectors, good quality and safe fresh vegetables is the final results, because those studies we are conducted with proper manageable chains. Most of the time they are transporting it to the supermarket, because the general chains, it's very difficult. Then introducing some technologies, pack house technologies, that also very important as a primary processing technology. Then we are introducing some pack house operation to the people, that because of that they are in more money, they are able to enter to the export market with their product. Then this type of technology is also very important to get good product to the consumer. Then improved transportation system. Here we have some programs to vehicle modification, because the existing vehicles are not appropriate for transportation these things, because the amount can be lowered is very less. Therefore, this type of vehicle modification programs also we have conducted to encourage the people to transport their produce by packing their produce in safe containers. The banana, another case, the banana, the people in my country, they are used to pack it in very bad manner. They are keep it on vehicles without any order. They are sending it to the market. Then there may be so many brochures and mechanical damages can be happen. But we try to convince them to importance of de-handing of the banana, then that and packing. Those type of concepts we have introduced, and also some formats we have introduced to pack it when transporting the things. That there are maybe difficulties and practical difficulties, but at the beginning when we are adopting those things, that may be the problem. But with meantime, it will be beneficial for us, because the ultimate target is our ultimate target is to give good product for the consumer. That will be better by following those type of things. Then organized markets, rather than the roadside market and not unorganized market, that the organized markets are very important, because when you are traveling to Thailand, Malaysia like countries, we can see there's good organized markets there, because that graded, sorted and proper packed vegetables and fruits in the market. Then the consumer there, it's a trend to buy those type of things without any risk. The retail packaging also, earlier I have explained about that, what is the importance of using the retail packages during marketing, how we can protect our products by following such technologies. Then introduce proper methodologies for prototyping. I have told you that this is some photographs I have taken from our project we have conducted to improve the good quality of the mango. That we developed some mango zones in my country. That here we have introduced some structures to ripe our mango and banana. That here it is showing that the cabinet type things, it is the structure we have used. Then how we gave the treatment, like gaseous treatment we have provided to ripen those mangoes and bananas. That is actually now also they are practicing it in very good manner. That is helps to, because that in some it is very nice to hear for us that some of the market they have developed, because there's some group of consumers, they are trying to buy their produce, because that in my country most of the people they have risk of buying some mangoes or something from roadside market, because it is believed that that is treated with some chemicals or something for ripening. Actually that is happening. Because of that, the people, they are not tend to buy those things. Another thing is when they are buying those things and after going to their houses, when they're checking the quality of the fruit, that is very bad quality. If we buy 10 mangoes, we can eat only 2-3 mangoes because of that situation. That is very bad situation. Therefore, we try to improve the quality of mango by improving this type of technologies, introducing this type of technologies. Then this is the branding that after introducing those type of technologies, we try to brand those product different brand names. It is going to the market, not export, that local market. Because of that, the traceability can increase. Then the people, there's no risk when buying those things, that people they can select their products, like the products coming from this region. That's a good mango, like appeal they have it. Therefore, it is very I think it's very important to introduce this type of branding methods to get consumer assurance for our product. It's something like adoption of some quality standard like GAP, good agricultural practices, then GMP, good manufacturing practices, like that in our country. Also, we have some programs with Department of Agriculture, the GAP certification program. Because of that, we promote in the export market as the people who are enter into the export market. We are promoting them by introducing this type of certification system. The Sri Lankan Standardized Institute also, they are giving those are some examples of introducing GAP certification in my country to increase the product quality at the field level. Then some standards introduced by Sri Lanka Standard Institution that will help to develop, that will help to increase the quality of our products, of the producers' products, and the farmers also tend to get some organic certification or something that will help to send their products into the good markets. Those are the things. Finally, we can say that our final consideration that the selection of best technologies to be applied among range of available post-harvest technologies that should take into account that we can introduce some technologies. We have knowledge about some technologies, but we have to consider about the product characteristics, which product we have to use to introduce such technologies. Then the market distance and the requirement, how long we have to transport those things and what is the requirement. Then it's another chance to that regional, sometimes we can form some regional centers to avoid unnecessary handling and unnecessary transportation. The social and economic condition of the actors involved in the supply and value chain also we have to be considered. Then there is not a direct relationship between given post-harvest technology, efficiency, and its cost. Actually, the expensive equipment does not always imply high efficiency. And even the best equipment without proper management may have little utility at poor results, because sometimes we are getting some technologies from foreign countries that is very good technology, sometimes it may be not appropriate to us. Then the machine is in very good condition, but if we are not managing that machineries in proper way, that also badly affect our product quality. Then effective training and supervision of personnel, that is very considerable thing to maintain the quality and safety of the product. Proper product handling during the post-harvest chain, that is depend upon the understanding the factors that affect the quality and safety of the product and the different mechanisms to minimize their impact. Actually, from the beginning to end, today also we are talking about that which type of things we can achieve by applying the appropriate post-harvest technologies. That simple handling practices can have important impact on product quality and safety. The proper harvesting time, avoid direct sunlight, proper handling, proper ventilation, etc. will be effective. Actually, those are the things I need to tell you. That most of the things are general. As a post-harvest technologies, I think it's a very general technologies, but my effort is to give your attention on those things, like those are the very important things. We have to be very simple, but that considerable things we need to pay our attention. Then, therefore, sometime I am talking comparatively with my country with use and getting some examples, taking some examples from my country. That I think that those aspects it's very considerable when talking about the keeping quality of the fresh products like fruits and vegetables. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Excellent presentation. And thank you very much. You have covered all the aspects that pre-harvest factors, post-harvest factors, that how the climate is affecting our fruits and vegetables, cultural practices, and the biochemical, chemical, mechanical, physiological factors. And during harvest, how the injuries are causing the fruits and vegetables, and cleaning, disinfection, grading, packaging, transport, everything, all what are the problems associated with the storage, and they have covered, and cold chain, harvesting, pre-cooling, transportation, and ethylene gases, selling wholesale and retail, and what are the technologies adopted, and pack house technologies, improved transportation systems, organized markets, and fruit ripening and branded. So everything you have covered in this topic, and thank you very much, madam. And now it is open for the discussion. Any question and answers? I invite question and answers to the madam. They may be clarified. Please.
Madam?
Yeah.
A very excellent presentation, madam.
Thank you.
Really very interesting. Very, especially fruits and vegetables. Only one thing, madam, in your lab, any sophisticated methods or techniques to identify the latent infections in fruits and vegetables?
Yeah, actually, that is not much sophisticated. Especially in mango harvesting, we have that type of problems. Because of latex, there may be later part of handling, some diseases can be spread, especially stem and rot. In that case, in pack houses, we are following that dripping system when after that washing treatments only we are using to get rid of that latex from the crop. Also, we are giving some treatment for the stem end rot, like sodium bicarbonate dipping treatment. We can apply for that thing. Sometimes the hot water treatment also apply. But hot water treatment is, according to our experience, that is not much effective for control of stem end rot. The sodium bicarbonate treatment we can do up to some extent, but the proper way is that we have to harvest in proper way, then remove the latex by washing. After that, we can keep it on drip rack for some time. Then subsequent handling that can be happen. That there's no much sophisticated technologies, but normal way of handling is like that.
Okay, thank you, madam. Thank you.
Anybody? University officers, associate deans, heads, students. Hello? If nobody is there, we will go for the vote of thanks by Dr. B. Srinivasulu, Registrar, Dr. YSR Horticulture University.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Dhananjay Rao, the director and the convener of today's program. Thank you once again for giving me the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks for today's 10th Global Connect series. At the outset, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor and Chairman of today's program, the 10th Global Connect series, for his unstinted support and able guidance for conducting this program. I think for the past several months, we have been conducting this Global Connect series program with the approval of our Honorable Vice Chancellor. It is one of the flagship programs that our horticulture universities, doing it for the benefit of all the faculty members as well as students working with Dr. YSR Horticulture University. I take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor once again for giving me the opportunity to propose vote of thanks and for his support all the ways to have this Global Connect series program to be organized by Horticulture University without any interruption. Special thanks to our today's guest speaker, Dr. Nilanthi Vijayawardene Garu. Thank you, madam, for your excellent presentation on the topic contribution of sustainable post-harvest management practices to reduce losses in food crops with particular reference to fruits and vegetable crops. This is one of the really the burning aspect with regard to all developing and well-developed nations, as nearly 30 to 40% of the produce will be going as waste. I think it is time to look into that matter, that these losses can be reduced to sustain the ever-increasing population globally. Thank you, madam, for your excellent presentation on the topic today. You have covered all the topics, right from the harvesting to the, to the end users. What are all the losses that occur in fruits and vegetables, and how these losses will occur during storage, how to overcome this problem. All these topics were very well presented with a lot of illustrations, and the slides you have shown were very clear. I think with your presentation, the today's participants, they have really enriched their knowledge on this post-harvest management topic. On behalf of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. YSR Horticulture University, and all university officers and all the participants, and on my own behalf, I extend my heartfelt thanks to you for readily accepting your invitation and being with us almost 1.5 hours by sparing your valuable time and giving very excellent guest lecture. I once again thank you very much, madam, for your presence in this Global Connect series. I am also thankful to all the university officers and journal research heads, heads of research stations, associate deans of all horticultural colleges, principals of polytechnic colleges, and the other staff who are there in this program, and also the rapporteurs for this 10th Global Connect series program. I once again thank you all for participating in this 10th Global Connect series program, which is an excellent program that Dr. YSR Horticulture University is organizing for the benefit of the students as well as staff. I am also thankful to the convener, Dr. Dhananjay Rao Garu, who is also the Director of Industrial and International Programs, for taking pains in this, finding the good speaker and also, arranging this program very successfully. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you very much, madam. And excellent presentations, and we enjoyed our speech talk on this subject. Thank you, madam.
Okay, thank you very much. We will see. We'll meet again. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.
Okay. Thank you. Now the program is closed. Thank you.